Now we are live. 1 second. Let me see how the countdown gonna work.
Okay.
See what happened when you use your phone. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hi, how y'all doing out there tonight? I know I'm supposed to start it at 6 o'clock. We had some y'all know how it is with technical problems. We had some technical problems, but y'all, we here. The devil is a liar. We here. So I got a special guest, but let me tell y'all a little bit about myself. For those who don't know me, my name is Charnel Williams. Born and raised in Newark, New Jersey. Yes, I am. I'm an author, publisher. As y'all see, I'm a podcast host, and I'm having my 8th annual Women's Empowerment this year in the Poconos. So we still have tables available. We still have attendees. I'm looking for some more attendees to come. And a swag bag. If you're an entrepreneur, if you have promotional items, reach out to me because we're looking for a lot of promotional items for the swag bag. And one more thing, I'm having is next month is Women's Month. Yeah, I know that, right? The ladies, y'all know that. So I'm having on March the 8th, on that Sunday, I'm trying to bring at least 8 of us together live. So we can just chit chat and talk about whatever. Because it's our month, y'all. Y'all understand it's our month. So y'all reach out to me. Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. Just reach out to me if y'all want to be a part of the Women's Month. The day, rather, it's the day on this. I forgot what day, but it's on my own thing. So now, y'all, my tongue is tired. We've been struggling on here behind the scenes. We here now. Dee is here. Dee is in the house. So Dee, introduce yourself.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Charnel, because I really appreciate everything that you do. We met for the first time earlier this year talking about menopause, something I know a little bit about. And just for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dee Savoie. I am a life transformation coach, meaning I want to take you from where you are now to where you want to be. I'm an author. I'm a publisher. In fact, my next book coming out is going to be called I'm Every Woman. And if you feel you're every woman and you want to tell a little bit about it, hit me up because we are still looking for authors for the book. And I'm just glad to be here with you and to recognize that I love the idea of doing something for Women's Month. And that's when I'm starting a writer's workshop up here in Mount Vernon, where I live now. I used to be a Bronx girl, now I'm a Mount Vernon girl. And we'll be having a 12-week workshop to help you finish, well, maybe start. You don't know if you started yet, but if you didn't start yet, we're going to help you start and we're going to help you finish a project that's been on your mind to write and to finally get it out. So maybe it can be published. Maybe.
All right. Yes. Oh, congratulations on you doing an anthology. You ain't invite me.
Well, I'm inviting you right now.
But that I love doing anthologies. Like my publishing company, we do anthologies. I'm so used to doing. I don't know how many anthologies I have out there, but I'm so used to doing anthologies. Now I want to go back to writing my own novel, and I don't even know where to start. Because
Yep.
the anthologies, you only need so many word counts, but the novel, you need a lot of word counts. So
Yep. Yeah.
so
And that was kind of my issue when I'm also a fiction author. And my first fiction book, which was called Spellbound, it was published by BET Books way back in the day. And that was really my issue with getting started was that you got to have a long enough story to really fill a novel, or at least in those days you did. These days you can
Right.
self-publish and have as many words as you want, but back
Yeah.
then you really needed to be able to tell a longer, meatier story. And it took a while. It took a while to really develop that, and to be able to have it in a way for somebody to look at it and to evaluate it and then eventually want to publish it. So
Right.
I think we have it a little bit easier today than we had back in the day.
Yeah, a lot
Because,
more easy. It is so
Mhm,
easy now to publish a book. Um, and especially with AI. My friend, she used AI to do her whole book. And I was like,
mhm,
wait a minute. But I just
mhm.
felt some type of way because I want to do my book myself. I want my words to come from my head. You understand what I'm saying? I want it to come from my heart. And
Right.
especially if you're writing a true story, AI don't know nothing true about you. You
That's
understand what
right.
I'm saying?
That's right.
But I
I mean,
don't got nothing against it, but it's just that, I want to put my own words to my book. And then it ain't, you can use it on like looking up definitions,
mhm,
doing different things. But to me, and that's just me, like writing your whole book, mm, I won't use it for that.
yeah, I wouldn't use it for that either. And I think that, it depends on really what you want to do. If you want to express your creativity, you can't really do that through artificial intelligence,
Right.
because it is this number one artificial, right? So if you want to tell your story, you got to tell your story yourself from your own heart, from your own words, from your own mind, from your own wisdom. And that's going to be the thing that gets people to read it. It's not
Right.
just churning out. We talk about word count, but it's not just churning out words. It's churning out part of yourself.
Right.
Which is why in the writers workshop I'm doing, it's not just about writing, but developing yourself as a person, able to like dig deep into who
Right.
you are to bring that expression out. Because
Mm,
a lot of people want to write from the surface, right?
right.
They want to write, AI type stuff, but even if it's their own words. But in order
Right.
to really attract a readership and for you to really do the job of writing, which is to communicate effectively with other people, it's gotta be you. It's gotta be your own heart. It's gotta be your own
That
words.
that's just like writing your own bio through
Yeah,
AI. You understand what I'm saying? That's
yeah,
just like it ain't gonna be yours. It's AI. But
right.
I don't have nothing against AI, but I just want to write a book with
Yeah,
AI.
yeah.
That's
I
just
would.
my opinion. And
Mhm,
for those who doing that, good luck. And
mhm.
but it just everything is not for everybody.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
Everything is not. I tried to do a book cover myself. Everything is not for everybody. You hear me?
No,
Everything is
no,
not for everybody. So I was like,
right.
I'll leave that to the designers. Let them handle the book
That's
cover.
right.
Let the editors be editors. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, right. Exactly, exactly. You have to know, where your strengths lie, and utilize them. And if you don't have a strength there, give it to somebody else. Let somebody else do it. You just spend more
Right,
time just trying to figure something out that's not for you than if you would have
right,
just given it to somebody else who knows what they're doing and allow
right.
them to show their creativity and really add to what you're doing.
And then you ever notice when people know how to do stuff, and then they tell you it's easy? I was like, it's not
It is.
easy.
It is easy. It is easy if you
It's
know
so
what you're doing and you know how
hard.
to do it.
It's so
It is
hard.
easy, and that's why here you go. Here's the project for you because
Uh-huh.
it's not easy for everybody.
Right.
It's not
It's
easy
not
for
for
everybody.
everybody. So let me ask you a question. Yeah, I
Sure.
remember you came on my panel for not women's empowerment, for menopause. And we
Mm-hmm.
had a lovely conversation. And I did a part two. I did a part two on TikTok like a
Okay.
couple of months ago. I did a part
Mm-hmm.
two. And I want to do a part three because there's so many different ladies that going through. That's why I hope you join me on my Women's Day. I think it's on a Sunday. Women's Day
Mhm.
this year is on a Sunday. Even though we got the
Yeah.
whole month, we still got one day
Okay,
out
that's
of
right.
that month. So I
Okay.
hope you join me because I just
I
want to get
know.
together and talk about everything as we go through. Like we can talk about menopause. I just put talk about it. We can talk about
Mhm.
anything. Let the conversation flow. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
then congratulate us because we deserve a clap. You understand what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
That's what I want to do. So if you interested, just send me an email letting me know that you're interested. Look at the flyer. I think it's from 1 to 3 on a Sunday. So look at
Beautiful.
the look at the flyer, and I just want all us young ladies to come in, especially those who can't come to my women's empowerment, where we really get down and do talk. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? But those
Exactly.
who can't come to my women's empowerment, well, we can have a virtual on here and let's do Women's Day. You understand what
Absolutely.
I'm saying?
I absolutely agree because, especially today, where I think that um, in our country in particular, womanhood is on attack, right?
Mm,
Everything you hear about is how, whether it has to do with women's health, women's money, women's jobs. I mean, how in the world do we declassify teaching and nursing and other things as professions that they're just jobs now, you know? And how do we do that and still expect women to value themselves, right? When
mm-hmm,
everywhere you turn, something is telling you, you know, we don't care. We don't care how you feel. We don't care if you go into the hospital and you need surgery and you can't get it because we made a law about it, or we don't care
mm-hmm,
if when you go to work, people can fire you on the spot for this or that or the other thing and try to take us back to where we were and where we fought to get to someplace different and just try to
mm.
roll all of these things back. And we really need to, as women, be aware that these things are happening and do what we can to try to stem the tide.
And especially, and that's why it's very important for us to have this conversation on March the 8th. Yeah, anybody want to
Mhm.
join us listening, contact me because now they trying to tell us what we can do and what we can't do with our bodies.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? Like if God forbid if someone get raped, they trying to
Mhm.
make it so you can keep the baby and have the baby. Who want to be a constant memory of that? You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I think we should have choices. And now they're trying to take everything away from us. So, and I think that's why we got to stand up as women together.
Mhm. Absolutely. Because if we don't, I mean, we see some show of it now because people were not coming out as strongly as they should against some of this legislation, other stuff going on, and the attitudes that are going on right now. And then we just keep
Mhm.
going further and further back, and we have to draw that line. We say we're not going back. We
Right.
are not. We are not going back. Okay,
Right.
because
And
a lot of stuff that went on was just pure craziness. And the
mhm.
way that, I mean, now, I've been alive, I'm sure, a lot longer than you have. And I remember the days where you couldn't even get a bank account. You couldn't, have
Right.
a credit card that didn't have your husband's name on it. You were Mrs. Whoever, right?
Mm. Yeah.
And we're not going back to that. We're not going back to that. So we as women really have to stand strong. And that's one of the things that I like to focus on in my work. If you see underneath my name, it says H.G.I.C, right? And that
Mm.
stands for Head Goddess in Charge. Okay. And
Mm.
you have to be the head goddess in charge of your own life and your own destiny because
Right.
sitting back, shrinking back, not taking up space, not putting yourself out there in the way that you want to be in the world, this is the
Hmm.
way that we go back. This is the way that
Right.
we go back. And that every woman has the right and should have the opportunity to do whatever the heck she wants in her
Hmm.
life, in her way, to suit her. Because so many of the
Yeah.
messages that we get as women is who else we're supposed to be doing for, and not ever worrying about what are we doing for ourselves.
Right.
And
Mm.
that's really the focus of what I talk about, and especially because I deal with a lot of women who are middle aged and above. And I think we're having like our second, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the children are raised, or maybe we never had any children, and we came to the conclusion, well, fine. And they come to the realization that, there's more for them than whatever it is that they have been doing. And
Right.
so now it's time to have some fun. Now it's time
Right.
to have that second girlhood and do whatever the heck it is that you want. Because
Mm-hmm.
you only got one life as you. Okay,
That's
even if you
right.
believe in reincarnation, you got one life as Charnella and Dee. So Charnella and Dee
Right.
should be able to do whatever it is that we want to do at this point in our
Right.
life.
Right. And that's what we have to do. It's just like so many people um want to take charge. You
Mhm.
know, sometimes like we was just talking. Sometimes you got to stay in your lane, stay in your
Mhm.
place, stay in your lane. In reality, men, if you're listening, women really do rule the world.
Thank you. Thank you.
We
But
really do rule
because
the
we gotta
world.
act like it though. We gotta act
Yeah,
like it though.
we have
We
to.
gotta
Yes, we
we
have to.
gotta remember that if you are the hand that rocks the cradle, then you're also the
Hmm.
hand that is raising up the generations of men who don't treat us right. So
Uh-huh. Right,
maybe like check your own house and
right,
see how you're raising up your sons and your daughters. And a lot of times it's different. The daughter is
mm,
doing all the work and the son is playing video games.
right,
Right?
right,
So they get to feel as if they're entitled to more leisure. They're entitled to, do whatever they, want while, the other half is doing all the work. So
right,
sometimes we need to look to our own houses and see how we can help both our young men and young women grow up so that they feel valued and they feel worthwhile.
right, right. And that's what we gotta do. But and another thing, they have to listen. We only
Mm-hmm.
can tell and teach. We can't make. You understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? We can't
Yep.
make them follow us. But like for instance, now my grandson, I be telling him like, they stopped handwriting in school. They
Mm-hmm.
stopped teaching Black History Month. You understand
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And I was just so upset because as a 15 to 16-year-old, 14 and up, you should know a little bit about your ancestors. You should know a little bit about Martin Luther King Jr. You should know about Malcolm X. You understand what I'm
Yep.
saying? You should know this. But do they know this? No. The only thing they really know is about Martin Luther King. And that's because quote quote the holiday. Just imagine
Right.
if the man take
Right.
away the holiday. Then what?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right. You would know a thing. You would know one pleasant thing. And the way that even his history is taught is not correct. So you're getting a
Right.
false narrative about the one person they let you talk, or maybe you get Harriet Tubman. Okay, maybe you get Harriet Tubman too, or
And that's what
or
my grandson
Rosa
only
Parks.
knew. No, my grandson knew because I was asking him about Black history. Because I was like,
Mhm.
what y'all learning? Is Black History Month? And what is y'all learning in school? He was like, what? I was like, what y'all learning in school is Black History Month. And I said, who is Dr. Martin Luther King? He told me about Dr. Martin Luther King. Rosa
Mhm.
Parks, he told me about. I said,
Right.
well, who is Malcolm X? He couldn't tell me about Malcolm X. So you know what
Mm.
I had to do? I had to make him go Google that bio and read that bio to me. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's a shame how they taken, they gave us Black History Month, but still
Mhm.
teach Black history. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I
Yeah.
understand sometimes it got to be at the home. So now I feel as though I told my grandson every Sunday, I want to know something about somebody in Black history. You understand what I'm saying? If you got
Yeah.
to Google it, AI it, whatever you got to do, you should tell me something every Sunday about a different person
Hmm.
and not Dr. Martin Luther King or Rosa Parks, because we already know you already know them. Now that
Right.
I told him Sunday, he know Malcolm X now. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Mhm.
this Sunday, he gotta find somebody else to tell me about. He
Yeah.
gotta find somebody because it's sad. It's sad. Like they taking penmanship. These kids don't even know how to write,
Yeah.
handwriting.
Yeah.
And
And
then they saying, quote, quote, we got the computer, we got doc sign. Just imagine if you got to walk into a place and they want your signature.
Yeah. Well, this I work as an educator for many, many, many years, and I think that all of this, they're saying, well, you don't need to know the capitals anymore because you could just look it up. You don't need to know this anymore because you could just look it up. But who's looking it up? Who's sitting there trying to figure out where the capitals are? Nobody. Nobody. So people have a shrinking view of the world because they don't even know like how big their own country is, how big America is. I mean, at least if you could know some capitals, you could see a map, you could figure out like just how many different places there are in the United States. They don't even know that. And it's
Right.
very disheartening as a teacher to go into a class where a lot of the students don't even care that they don't know something. And I think that is
And that's
rewarding.
sad because a lot of teachers don't even care to teach the students because some of them is there just for the pay.
Oh, that
Some of them there just for the pay. And
and
let's
that has
keep it
always been
real.
that
Yeah,
has
some of
always
them
been
they just for the pay, and they not teaching our youngsters what they really need to know. They need to know
right.
about Black history. To me, they need to know everything about the world. But the
Mhm.
prime thing is they need to know Black history. They need to know who made this, who did that, you know, because they already think that we can't get far in the world, you
Yeah.
know. And then I was watching some more. Hey Naisha, thank you for joining. I was watching some more, and she
Uh-huh.
said something. She said, I can't quote it, but she was talking about how we need to teach our people now because
Mhm.
in a few years, our country going to be so messed up. They're going to be coming
Yep.
to us because they're going to teach them the wrong thing in school, but they ain't going to teach them the right thing. They ain't going to tell
Right.
them the truth about what's going on. So, as home, everything starts from home to tell you the truth. Everything
Hmm.
starts from home. So that's why we need to teach them from home. And then let them go to school and learn what they teach them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because there is so much that our young people just don't know. And how do you understand and have pride in yourself if nobody even tells you about like the people you come from, or even the inventions that have been made, or so many times people say, well, I can't do that because that's not a Black thing. Well, it may not seem like it is, but if you know the history of how that developed, like even rock music, which was, it was a Black thing when it started out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
so many things that are invented by their ancestors are co-opted by somebody else. And then how do you have pride in who you are and who you come from if no one ever tells you anything and you don't know?
Right. And these days, remember back in the day, we ain't have AI. We ain't have calculators to bring to school, our tablets to bring to school. We had to use this. They don't
That's
use
right.
this. They don't
Yeah.
use it. They don't
Mm-mm.
use it. Like, how you going to be? I had to tell my grandson, like, stop AI and everything. The math problems, the inches, AI, AI, AI. Stop doing that because you don't know nothing. Use this
Mhm.
and then you will know. Once you use this, nobody can take this away from you.
That's
Once it's
right.
all up in here, you good. You good.
Yeah.
Just imagine your phone break, your computer break, and they ask you a question like this, and you
Mhm.
gonna be lost because you know why? You can't grab that computer. You can't grab that phone. You can't look up AI. That's why you should have it here. It should be here. But no, they
Yeah.
don't. They just that's the fastest way. I was like, "What you doing, man? Why you on your phone?" Oh, I'm asking AI. Like what the?
And AI is not infallible. It's
Right.
not like it never spits out something wrong. It's not like it ever spits out even like the highest thing it could. It really is about grabbing all this information and finding somewhere in the middle. So you want to be mediocre? That's really
Mm,
my thought about it, is that if you really want to use it, you want to take whatever it gives you and elevate it, not just settle for whatever it puts out, and which may not even be accurate. I think it gets more and more accurate as time goes on. But I truly
mhm,
believe AI is Skynet. So we just
mm,
we just wait to see whether it goes sentient or not and starts killing people. But that's
mm,
that's
mm.
another story.
But so let's get back to the book. How many books have you written?
Okay, let's see. When we're talking fiction, about a dozen.
Oh
All of
wow.
them are out of print right now, but I decided that this year I'm gonna bring some of them back and just republish them kind of as vintage romance, because romance and
Hmm.
romantic suspense.
Yeah.
Um, and I have, let me see, I think I have a couple down here. Well, this was the first one that we did. Um, and this was um, I and my then partner, um, we gave a class in how to start your business as a spiritual entrepreneur. And so we, and I'll be giving that class again in the beginning of March. And what we really want to
Hmm.
focus on is not so much like the nitty gritty, like how to like file an LLC and all that other stuff, but are you starting the business you actually want to start? Is this your soul's calling? Because a lot of times people get told, well, you should do this, or you should do this, or you should do that. But it's not really what that person, if they could say, if I could do anything in the world, this is what I want to do. And a lot of times
Hmm.
it's very practical. But if you want to start the business of your soul's calling, sometimes you need a little different approach to how you look at it, right? And
Hmm.
so at the end of that course, um, all the students in the course wrote a chapter of this book. So
Hmm.
I think I don't remember how many we had. And then I think we had like a couple of extra people sign in. And it was all kinds of different. We have some essays, we have some journaling prompts, we have all kinds of stuff in here that can really help you um, look at yourself and remember you are enough. No matter who you are, where you're starting from, you are enough all by yourself
Hmm.
to fulfill your
I know.
dreams, right? And then
Hmm.
we did, let me see what was next. One was embracing authenticity, which was all about, really recognizing who you are without all the trappings, without all the other stuff, without who told you what, without society. Embrace the authentic you. Who is that?
Hmm.
And how do you delve deeper into finding out who that is? Because, in our everyday lives, that's not necessarily something we think about all the time because we've got too much to do, right? We got
Right.
too many things
Right.
weighing on our minds. We've got, maybe we have children or grandchildren to raise. Maybe we have a job that is like sucking the soul out of us. Maybe we have, different ailments or whatever. But who are
Right.
you underneath all of that? And that was really what embracing authenticity was about. And then the third one, let me see if I can grab this one. And I tell you, when you say about covers, this is like the most unimaginative cover ever. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can.
Oh,
But
I can't see it.
yeah, it's Through the Fire, and this one went to a number
Hmm.
one new release on Amazon. And really, what it was
Hmm.
about was women's stories of struggle and of courage and overcoming. And it's like, we're just for everyday women. If we could do it, you can do it. If you can do it, you can figure out what you need to do so that you get to that other side where you really feel like you're living your life for you and not just, what society expects or what your family expects or whatever. And
Right.
so then we're going to have I'm Every Woman, and you are definitely invited. And I will send you information on that. Um, and what we really want to do with this one is just kind of break out of the mold a little bit, because a lot of times when you have books like this, everybody writes an essay, and then everybody writes an essay, and then there's the next essay, and and it can be kind of the same format over and over and over again. So
Yeah.
we have actually some fiction work in it. Um, we do have some essays in it. We have journaling prompts. We have all kinds of different things that help us talk about all the ways in which we women have the same experience over and over and
Mhm.
over again. We
Yes.
all, you know, we may not have every experience that we talk about, but we all know what it's like to fall in love with somebody and be betrayed. We all know what it's like
Right.
to want to have children and not be able to. We all know what it's like to like walk around in a feminine body that is constantly, either somebody has something to say about it, no matter what you look like. You could be tall, short, skinny, fat,
Right.
whatever. But there's always
Right.
going to be somebody out there that has to tell you why you should be doing something else and why you should be something else. So
Hmm.
we all have these experiences. And so we wanted to bring that together. Just say, sister, we've been there too. We've been there too. And we
Yes.
know
Yes.
what it's like. And we know that, we all have to deal with it, but we're all in it together. So
Right.
that's really the idea for I'm every woman. And so I
Hmm.
don't know what's going to come after that. I don't know. I usually get the idea for the next book when I launch the previous book. So when we
Hmm.
had the launch party for embracing authenticity, I was talking to one woman and she said something about, I've really been through the fire. I'm like, that's it. That's the next one. So
Uh-huh.
when we launch this one, somebody will say something else, and that's when we'll know that's the next topic that we
That's the
need to
next one. Yeah, that's the
explore.
next title. And this is like strange how you get your titles. Like I just had a show, one of my shows last week, and I was just telling the lady that I get my characters from television movies. Like I watch TV and I'll be like, oh, that's a pretty name. Let me write this down. So the next book I do, if it's a female, I use that name
Yep.
because it's hard to come up with cats, especially if you're a real true writer. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's hard to fit the characters with the image that you're trying to put out there. And the name, you have to do the
Right.
name that fit that character, so it's hard. The movies I watch, if I like their name's going on my
Right.
movie list name.
Yep.
And
I
that's
actually
how
have a
that goes.
sign here that says, "Careful, or you'll end up in my novel."
Oh wow. Mm.
So that's one thing that I love about people who write fiction is the brain is never off, and you can always find like little bits of things that you watch, you hear, you read, and you're like, okay, that's got to go in a book. Got to go in a book
Mm-hmm.
somewhere, right? And just to tell the funny story about the first book that I wrote, which was called Spellbound, right? And in the no, it was my second book called Always. And in this book, I got to a point where I had two sisters that I needed names for them. I couldn't think of anything, but there were two sisters who were friends with my parents, so I just borrowed their names, and I stuck them
Mm.
in the book. One of them was like an evil witch, and the other one was the my heroine's mother, and who was very nice, right? So do you know that the woman who got like the monster role in the book, she swore that was her. She swore that I had written that this was her character, and she even said to me, "You know, I can't. I didn't know that you had remembered this, but way back when you guys were kids, I used to date a guy named so and so, and that was that person's love interest in the book." I didn't remember that at all,
Mm.
but
Wow.
she swore I had written about her, and I was like, "Well, if she's happy with that, I'm going to let her be happy with
Mm.
being this character in the book." But she
Right.
was convinced. No.
Oh wow. So what made you start writing? What made you get
Well,
into writing?
my mom used to say that I was born with a pen in my hand. I was writing ever since I can remember. I was writing little
Hmm.
bits of something, little short stories, and I was convinced after reading Harriet the Spy that I was a spy too, and I'd go spy in the neighbor's house. No, this, and I would write about what they were doing in there, and until my mother found out about that, and
Mm.
she put a quick end to my spying days. But that really was that really was it. I just really love to write ever since I was little, and I started like earnestly writing my first novel when I was 16, on
Mhm.
Martha's Vineyard, because we used to go there for the summers, and so that's where my first book was set, on Martha's Vineyard, and I started writing that. And here's something I love to say to writers, is that you really have to have faith in yourself as a writer, because I did not. I started writing that book at 16. It did not get published till I was 36, because every time I
Wow,
would get to a certain
long
point,
time.
like 20 years, 20, I would say, "Oh, this is crap," and I would throw it in a drawer someplace. And way back in the days when you actually had to write it out, and
Mhm.
eventually, one of the only good things I could say about my husband was that he said to me one day, "When are you going to be satisfied with this book? You've been writing it as long as I've known you, right? When are you going to send it to an editor or a publisher? And if you don't, I'm just throwing it out because it's just a waste of paper." And
Mhm.
I said, when am I actually going to be satisfied? Because it was really a lack of confidence in what I was writing, right? It was a lack of confidence that this was good enough to be published. And
Mhm.
so I said, well, before it gets thrown out, let me send it out. And it was accepted by the first agent I sent it to, and the first publishing house I sent it to. So it
Mhm.
really was just me. It wasn't that it wasn't good enough. It was just I didn't believe in it enough.
They said we are our own critics.
Oh, we are. And when you're writing, a lot of times you'll hear that editor in your head. Oh, that's not right. That's not the right word. They wouldn't say that.
Mhm.
They wouldn't. This doesn't make sense. Whatever. And it's our own self-doubt, creeping in as we're having the writing process. And
Right.
so that's one of those things that you really have to work hard at stifling that voice in your head. Turn it off. And as one of my writing teachers says, write with passion and edit with ice. So you have to save that critique for when you're going to go back and make it better. But as you're writing, really just try to write out whatever it is that you're feeling, um, and let it flow. Let it flow,
Right.
you know, and then edit.
And you can't have everybody in your ear. I know you're saying the ear,
Yep.
but sometimes we have humans in our
Yeah.
ear telling us what we should do. We should have put this on this page. Why you named it that title? And they don't even got a book out. They ain't even writing a book, but they want to tell you how to do your book. Ain't that something?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Because everybody's an expert on what you should be, what
Right,
somebody else is doing. They're an
right,
expert. So, I really did get to that point with a couple of people, like, write your own book. Then you can tell me what I should be doing in my book and what makes
right,
sense.
right,
Because you don't even know what you're doing. You can't put two sentences on a piece of paper that makes sense. And you want to critique what somebody else is doing. So you really
uh-huh.
have to, as I said, really have to believe in yourself and tune out those other voices,
Yes,
even the voice that's in your own head. Because if you don't, you will never really, first of all, you don't even enjoy writing if you're listening. And then once you get your enjoyment back, you want to have that flow of writing, it shouldn't be like you're just halting, hold. It should be able to
right,
flow. It should be able to
right,
flow.
right. It's just that it's so hard, and you gotta like experience for yourself. You can't write because somebody else wants you to write, or you're trying to play follow the leader because your friend wrote a book. Now I'm gonna write a book. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta
Yep.
write, and I tell you gotta put. Sometimes you gotta put love into what you do. Matter of fact, all the time. You have to
Yeah.
put love in
That's
what
the
you,
truth.
because if you don't, if you just like when I first started writing years ago, I had this lady and she was like, she just want to write a book for the money. Like the money, the money gonna come natural, but you have to love
Right.
what you do. You just can't be
Right.
out there and say I'm writing for the money, because do they
Right.
know that we don't make that much money unless we really celebrities? They don't know that,
No,
right?
no. When my first book got published, somebody had the nerve to come up to me and go, "Well, you're rich now." I'm like, "Rich? If
Uh-huh.
you could have the advance funds, honey, please, I could be
Uh-huh.
months
So
renting right now with the amount of that I got as an advance." You're not rich.
I
You're
say,
not.
yeah, I say do what you love, and then all the success and money gonna follow.
Right.
But you got to do
Exactly.
what you love. You know, don't just
Exactly.
keep thinking you're gonna make $1 million overnight. Your book just dropped, and you think you're gonna make $1 million or five
Yep.
hundred thousand dollars. No, it don't work like that. It's a process. But anything
Yep.
else, it's a process. You know, I don't care if you wrote. I've been writing since 2006, I think 2007. I ain't rich yet. You understand what I'm saying? But it's a
Mhm.
process.
Right.
It's the process. It's steps that you got to take.
Right.
If your mindset is, damn, I want to make money, I'm gonna get rich. You ain't gonna get rich. You understand what I'm saying? Like you
Yep.
gotta go with the process. And then some people don't want to get rich. Some people just want to be successful. Some people just want to be
Yeah.
known because it's all levels to success. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And some
So
people feel like they just have this story that they have to get out. You know, that they're, especially people who write autobiographically, the story is
mhm,
mostly about themselves. They really
right,
feel like you have to tell,
they
the
story.
story of themselves, and, you know, more power to
Some
them.
people don't even want to tell their story because they don't want everybody in their business. I just had a lady like, I gotta tell my story. I'm writing a bio. I gotta tell you how you gonna write your bio if you ain't telling nothing. I don't want
Right.
everybody in my business.
Right.
Well, keep it to you then. Keep it to yourself and don't
Right.
write it. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
Or write yourself
So
a journal and keep it. Don't worry about it. Who else is going to read it? If you feel you got to write it down, that's what
I
he
just finished my journal. I got a journal out called Stop Bullying Me.
Mm,
And it's for all ages. And I really put like it took me probably like 7, 8 months to finish because I really wanted to get the thoughts about bullying because I don't think back in the day we ain't call it bully, but I don't really think I got bullied back in the day. You understand what I'm saying? Because I
yeah,
was trying to think like did I get bullied? But
yeah.
I can't see myself getting bullied back then. So I
No.
wanted to talk to people who have got bullied. I have a show too on bullying like
Wow.
who have got bullied, and then I just put everything together and I start like, oh wow,
Yeah.
looking up words and doing this and doing that, talking to my grandson because he that age now. So I was like, I can do this journal. So I put my journal out. My
Yeah.
first journal I put out about
Beautiful.
and it's all ages because people don't understand. Everybody get bullied. You
Yeah.
understand
And
what I'm saying? The
it doesn't end
workplace.
with school either.
Right.
You can go to a job and get bullied. You can go, you
Right.
can get
I was
married to
just telling my
somebody
niece
who
that the other day. I was just telling my niece. Me and my niece was talking about bullying, and I was just saying that everybody get put. You can get bullied in kindergarten, preschool. You might not
uh-huh.
know it's bullying, but it's bullying. You understand what I'm saying? So, and just like you just said, jobs, people at your work, they can bully you. You might not think it's
Yep.
bullying, but it's bullying. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
School,
Yep.
all ages can get bullied. So,
Yep.
and then we got people that's bullying higher up than us. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't want to say the
We
name,
got
but
a
we got people,
president that likes to do some bullying. We got him.
right? We got people who be so people get bullied, and I think this would have been a nice journal because it's for all
Yeah.
ages. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
And
that's
you can
important.
write in it, you can write your thoughts because a lot of people like these kids. I call them today kids. These
Mhm.
today kids don't want to tell you anything that's going on with them. They
No,
think
they
you're in
don't.
their business, but in reality, they don't got no business because they ain't open nothing. They don't got no LLC. They ain't running no business. So I don't
Right?
understand how you
Right.
keep saying why you in my business because it ain't their business. They don't have no business. But
Right.
the point is like you got to talk about it.
Yeah.
If you're being bullied, man, my niece going to do a show on it.
Mm.
And you just got to talk about bullying. If you don't talk about it, it's gonna keep going, 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 going. And that's what I want to reach out. And I know I'm growing. I probably don't understand how today kids are, how they growing up.
Yeah.
How they saying they don't snitch, they keep their mouth shut, and I can
Mm.
understand that. But I think this, if you want to keep your mouth closed, I think this journal is for you because you can
Yeah.
write down all your thoughts, write down what make you mad about book. It's like different things that I put, and then I put it to be fun. So it ain't all that serious. You understand what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So I think it's going to do. I think it's going to do good. I got it out now, and I think it's just for all ages. And I just had to write it because I worked in the school system, and a lot of
Mhm.
kids is being bullied in that school
Oh
system.
yeah.
You understand
Oh
what I'm saying? They
yeah.
really are being bullied. Some of the things that I heard, they being bullied. So and then I'm sure they don't go home and tell their parents. They
Yeah,
got just
a lot
keep
of
them
times the
inside,
school doesn't do anything either.
huh?
You could go, you could tell your teacher what's going on, you could tell the administration what's going on,
They
and
don't care.
a
They
lot of
don't
times they
care.
do absolutely nothing.
They don't care. They
Yeah,
don't care. 'Cause
yeah.
I've been talking to
There's too much
principals. They,
trouble.
they they don't care. You know what? One principal told me kids gonna be kids. Like what the hell do that mean? Oh, excuse me for cursing, but what do that mean? Kids gonna be kids. You understand what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
kids gonna be kids, but it's just like this world. That's why I said we got to teach at home. We got to teach at home. We got to teach our kids the Black history. We got to teach them so they can know, right
yeah,
from wrong, and don't let
yeah,
them people get in their heads because people get in
exactly.
kids' heads too. And
Yeah,
so I really believe that it really do can start at home when teaching your kids what you want your kids to know.
yeah,
They might
absolutely.
not they might not think we know anything, but
But if you treat your kids, this is my belief. If you treat your kids with respect at home, and you treat them
Mhm,
as I'm very much against the like you got to respect me just because I'm your mother, kind of. Well, you do, but you know
mhm,
the idea that I don't have to be somebody you can respect and still demand respect. So if you're teaching your kids with with love, with kindness, um, with a sense that of pride in who they are, then more than likely they're going to accept that. Okay, but a lot of
right,
time people want to beat it into your kids, or you want to be overbearing with them, or whatever, and then who really wants to deal with that, right? Even as an adult, you want somebody who comes with you and discusses stuff with you rather than
right,
beat you over the head with it. So
right,
I think sometimes we have to examine ourselves as adults, like what and how are we teaching, and if we're not teaching the right thing in the right way, now how are we going to complain if other people don't want to hear us?
right.
So
True, true. That's so true. So before I let you go, if
mhm.
someone no, I want to say name a do or don't when it comes down to writing or publishing a book. Do's or don't.
Here's a don't: do not compare yourself to anybody else, because your writing is your writing, your way of expressing yourself, whatever. um Looking at other people who may have had more success than you, or success in a different way, whatever, it kills the joy. And as long as you have joy in what you're doing, you're going to tend to find your own success in your own way.
Right.
That's don't number one. Be your own
Mm-hmm.
person and don't look at others. Do, on the other hand, is do carve out whatever time it is you need for your own work. Okay, because there's never going to be the ideal time to start writing or to finish
Right.
a project or whatever. It's like having
Right.
kids. If you wait for the ideal time, you never have them. But if you can carve, if you're an early person, get up half an hour early, write for half an hour, and then do your regular day. If you're not owl like me, stay up at night, write some more stuff, pass out of the computer, go to bed, whatever. But find what works for you, and recognize that it is valuable and it is necessary for you to do that. It's not like you're sneaking to find some writing time. You deserve, as a creative person, to have your creative outlet, even if you never publish anything, even if nobody else even sees it. It
Mm-hmm.
is something that's necessary to you, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Because
true.
how unhappy are creative people, whether it's writing, singing, dancing, whatever
Mm-hmm.
it is, when you can't do it. It's almost like the thief of joy in your life, and your purpose to be told you can't do that particular thing for whatever reason. Maybe you're injured, or maybe you don't have time, or maybe, for a month or two, you're looking after somebody else who needs you, whatever, and you don't have your regular time. It really can be very depressing when you are doing the thing you love. All those
Right.
beautiful chemicals are out there in your body. You're happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Ernest Hemingway. It was either Ernest Hemingway or Norman Mailer. I can't remember. One of those two objectionable guys. But said everybody should write with a heart on. Excuse my language. Even women.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that you should be turned on by what you're doing. You should feel excited and happy and content to be doing it, and that's when it really will flow, and it will really be such an enjoyable experience for you. So don't let anybody rain on your parade in that way.
That's right. That's right. So, Dee, I want to thank you so much for coming on Let's Talk to podcast, and you'll be back.
And thank you for having me. I really
don't forget
I'm with you.
Yeah, and don't forget to send me the information about your anthology. I need to try to finish my book, but I want to see what yours about. And don't forget about the Women's Day. If you want to participate,
I definitely do.
Let me know about the Women's Day. It's going to be on a Sunday, and I forgot what date. I just know it's on a Sunday.
It's Wednesday, the 5th, 7th. It might be the 9th. If it's
always the 8th, I think. The 9th is on a Sunday. Well, I don't know what day it's on, but my flyer, you see my flyer on my page. So, and plus, Dee, I want to tell you, if you haven't anybody who's watching, listening, please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. Please.
Yes, please.
Stress that. I can't stress that enough. Go subscribe on my own YouTube channel. I appreciate it. So I wanted to say thank you, Dee, again, and we'll talk soon. And
absolutely.
Thank you. Keep up the good work. Okay.
Oh, thank you, and you too. It's so enjoyable to be with you and to listen to some of the other people you've had on here. Really exciting, and I'm glad to be back again. Take care now.
Thank you. So I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna try to do this. Do this thing with this to get off. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm learning. So everybody, thank y'all. Have a good night, and I appreciate everybody for listening. And thank you, Dee.
Thank you.
Okay, y'all. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you. I'm trying to just see something. Let me see how this goes.
Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk To podcast with author Charnel Williams. Tune in next time every Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to live, laugh, and love.